Alright, welcome back everyone. Here we are with our structure through day 11. I haven't actually done much to it in the last couple of days. I've been building tiny pieces for the other side. So hopefully we'll have some stuff put on this guy by the end of the night. Got plenty of light fixture spots, so with some luck we'll have something there besides a blank, a foresty piece of paper. But in the meantime, if you're new here, this is what I do. I buy these kits and build them step by step, mostly in real time. You get to see all my successes and all my failures, and I hopefully fix those inevitable failures as they come up. Upload daily and just try and have a good time. We're not solving the world's problems, we're just building silly little models and having fun. If you see any kits or builds or sets or anything you want me to build, or take a shot at anyway, feel free to drop in the comments. I'm always looking to add to my list, and I've got the most intelligent audience on YouTube because you provide me with nothing but the best options. But time to get going again. I'm on the wrong page on my instructions, so let me back up and start off with our felt, which is actually just, as it turned out, it's just supposed to be a filler material. I finally figured out. So I need, I guess, all these shapes tonight. So these are pretty big shapes. So I think I'm going to be safe cutting them out in real time. They're not complex like some of the teeny tiny ones are. I'll cut out the middles. Maybe I ought to separate them before I try and cut the more delicate shapes out. Like I said, this is, when it's all said and done, we're not even going to see this white stuff. It should get wrapped up in the brown crepe paper that we've been using. I think it's about, like I said, this is just, I think, to get some texture behind it. Or that's what it looks like to me anyway. Should put more glue spots on because I think it's moving around on me. Okay, let's see. That one. Yeah, this one definitely needed more glue. Probably cut off all the. Wasn't thinking that far ahead. Let me not. Do one from the other side. Actually, from here because I'm a hard time making the handed. Okay, that's, I guess I'm just going to do that in my hand. Oh, I'll tell you what I can't do. Perfect spot for my baby clamps. Maybe. Maybe not. I think will be a little bit. Okay. Let's get the tiny scissors out and see if there are any more. This is all on me for not using enough glue on our stencil here. Okay, I think. Okay. Yeah, there you go. Okay. Pretty close. I got a little wonky here on the edge, it looks like, but I think I'll tempt fate and worry about that later. Let's see, these a little bit bigger. So maybe we'll be in better shape on this one. Also, like I said, this is all internal stuff, so hopefully get close enough, it won't be that big of a deal. This is actually more like cotton batting than felt, I guess. Just really thin batting. I think that's what we used to call it. Alright. Got those guys down. I think I'm done cutting. No, I'm not done cutting. I got some AstroTurf cut out too. Forgot about that. This seems to be cutting a little bit better too, so it's a little more generous with the glue in those first couple of days. Alright. Okay. I got a little patch of grass and some fuzz. So, now I think I'm done cutting for the moment. Let's see here. You go onto this one. And these guys, this, but I don't guess it matters which way they're facing. We'll go doing 2 layers on it. So you, and you. Like I said, just sort of padding them up, it looks like. Double check all our looksies here. Okay. Alright. So, I guess we'll start out. I should remember to plug in the hot glue gun tonight, so bonus. Don't have to wait, figure out something else to do while I wait for that to warm up. So, let's just do a few dots here. Undo that. Another advantage of hot glue gun. I realized as I was laying it down that this back edge is supposed to be flush with that back edge. I lost my little plastic orange razor blade. I say I lost it, it's underneath something around here. It shouldn't be much of an issue. I'm just going to get the worst of it off here. Give it another go, remembering what I'm supposed to be doing. Okay, so you're supposed to be like that. Should have a little overhang all the way around, it says. Yeah, well, most of the way around. But on the front, man, is what it's showing. Yeah, so mainly up here is where I want the overhang, so let's give that another go. Let me just do a bead rather than dots this time. There. That's more like it. And now that I got that in place, I'll take some of the B7000. Just run it along the edge here. Hold that flap down maybe. good spot for mini clamps. Right. Then these guys, sort of the same situation. I think. Let's run on the bottom one. I'm going to run the B7000. I think it'll be. It'll soak in enough to the fibers to get a good grip. And that gives me a little more adjustment time too, if I need it. Okay. Now I'll do just a couple of dot on each end on this part. Okay. Well, it may not show up. That's got a couple of layers there. I think it's too bright in here for those details. There. Shows a little bit better on my display anyway. Still not perfect. Alright. Now that seemed to work, so let's do that again. Of course, this means I'm going to have to kill some time while this bottom layer dries, but that's doable. I got some other pieces pulled too. Oop, they're not. Well, I got to do some cutting too, so I forgot about that. Somehow I got this big, huge piece of paper there and I forgot I had to cut on it. Okay. Maybe 2 dots on this end and 1 on that. Just to flip you over. Oh. Hot. Lives up to his name. Okay. So, string out away there. Maybe. Flip you up there and. Oops. Actually, appears that everything is reliant on that. So, but I've got some other things I can do while I'm waiting. Okay. These thick pieces of sponge that I cut like a week ago, I finally get to use one of them. And I got my new tiny self-sealing cutting board. That was my toy. I think it's going to be X-Acto knife time to get through those without destroying everything. I hope. Anyway, bring you on in for this and we'll find out together if it works or not. It appears to be. Worst of it. I thought I had the worst of it done. Okay. Thought that would. Okay. Didn't work. Okay. I think it's going on. Yeah, it's not enough structure for it to. Getting most of it is. Yeah, there's a little break there. Okay. I guess scissors is the way to go. Maybe I got it thinned out enough so I make it easier. Okay, yeah, that was close. Finish that one up. I think it might have ended up being an okay technique. Not having to cut all the way through it. It's a little, slightly more stable, but not really. Okay, how close are you to the original? Yeah, pretty good. Okay. And then, I don't know how this is going to work either. Supposed to cut it in half. Okay, that one's not working. Let's try smoother one. Okay, I think that went through. Yeah, there we go. Little guy left. Okay. That works. This one loosened it up, I'm sure. Okay. We're supposed to, let's say, make 2 half thickness ones for later, hopefully momentarily use. Let's see. I think it'll be enough to handle. Yeah, sort of handleable. Okay. Yeah, thick parts are at the bottom. This goes, I'm assuming, sort of don't get a good angle on it. I'm assuming this gets mounted at the corner there, and on the corner of this one. And then this goes across the top to bridge the gap. So, it's just, back to my old, or my new toy here. This is going this away. Bring this in there. Should be pretty close, especially with that. Okay, I'm gonna clamp this guy back down again, so I've got a good, somewhat close to a right angle anyway. It's not gonna be perfect. I've got that material in there, but that should hold it steady for me to ease it in. And hot glue is what I'm going to go with this time. Actually, talking in the comments with somebody, I'm going to try and put just a dab B7000 on either end, and then hot glue in the middle, so we get hopefully the best of both worlds. Hot glue can hold it in place while the B7000 sets, in theory. Okay. Alright. Still didn't bring any paper towels in here. Don't know what I'm thinking. Okay, just a little bit of the back, but I don't think it's, what I'm seeing this thing's going to be doing, I don't think that's going to be an issue. Our side appears to be sticking pretty good. Okay, so now this one's supposed to go on. Same thing on that end. Do this with this one. I can get the pressure down there on the bottom corner, push into it. So, like I said, same sort of deal. Just a little dab of that on either end. That down. Keep knocking that over. in the middle. On that corner. Alright. Good. Well, I guess they're obviously going to be different heights. I don't know, for some reason my mind, I thought they were closer than that. I'm just going to go across the top of both of them. Don't know. I guess doesn't really show. So I'm guessing something like that. Maybe at the back. It's supposed to be. Yeah, I bet we are supposed to be flush with the back because this is going to be up against a wall. And that's where they did make a point to make sure that was flush too, so yeah. So probably like so. Okay, so continue with the hybrid stuff. So I'm just going to do that much. E7000, and then hot glue on the back end. Back side does look like it's sort of contacting all the way around. I can't really show it to you, but it seems to be fairly flush on the floor. Okay. So now let's okay, now we cut off. Got our last 3 squares on the brown crepe paper. Have much. No redos on tonight's stuff. It doesn't look like you can get enough to make a second one of any of these. Okay, these two are the same, 5.5 by 9. Okay, so So, according to the instructions, sort of like we made our little rock yesterday, where we wrapped up. We're supposed to wrap up the edges with this stuff and leave the green showing. Doesn't look like we're wrapping all the way around, just sort of enclosing it. So, okay. And on You know, it's very much like the wrapping yesterday, making the cut so it can go in. This side gets fairly well folded over. This side is sort of left floating, apparently. Okay, so let's find out what happens. Of course, it's go against the grain of our cray paper too. Fold it over some. Looks like. Okay, so we're starting off on the back. Yeah, flush with the top. Okay, so back here, about like that. So I'm going to hit the old reliable Gorilla Glue along that edge and anchor it down for a start. Hopefully a nice even smooth coat top to bottom. Good distribution. Wobbly on this side, so that makes it more challenging. Moving around on me. Okay, not too high. Alright, that's where I'm going to go with it. Pressure. Hope I don't knock everything else apart while I'm trying to do this. Okay. 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 Holding in place. Now, like I said, this is supposed to sort of wrap around here. It looks like it's supposed to sort of anchor along the edge on there. So I think it's just the rest of it's just supposed to go along with it. So more of the old Gorilla Super Glue right through there. I think that's sort of all we're supposed to do with that side. It's just supposed to make like a texture there for us. This side's one we're get a little more definition with, it looks like. So let's see if I can't not destroy this side trying to do the same thing over back here. Okay, so this one, bring it up, and we're cutting down the middle of our little valley here. I think a couple of cuts. Yeah, this is supposed to go get wrapped up pretty good, it looks like, so all that end result looks like it's supposed to generally follow that. So I think I'll start up back with the old Gorilla Super Glue. I'll start up here at the top, just do a little patch right there. Bring you around. Should wind up on that. Edge off here so it doesn't fold underneath for me, maybe. Hit from the cray onto the wood there so we get full, hopeful full coverage. I'm just going to wrap it around out in the open. I think that'll maybe add some texture to it or something. Just talking out my butt now. Let's see how it goes. And you down like so. A little bit more over here. Let's get it. I'm not sure. I don't have a good view of what I'm supposed to do with this one, so I'm just going to leave it alone for right now. And I think sort of the same thing up here. Anchor it down top here. There. Let me do another piece right there just to cover that little. Okay. So. Okay. Not gonna lie, I am not gonna get as far as I thought I was tonight, but I still want to get this. Do want to get this actually put on in place over there. So. Now, scrap piece left over. A little bit there. This sort of bridge this little rough spot I got here. But it doesn't look that bad here. Do want to make sure I get good coverage on it. Alright. Okay. And anchoring became unanchored there. Okay. But that, I think that's how it's supposed to look. Like I got a little texture with the fuzz in there. And I'm still not sure about this side, but we actually get to move on to page 14 now. Okay, now, big piece here. Okay, now they've changed the picture. Now they've got this side wrapped. Was it not? Yeah, they were leaving it loose all the way. They went from, you can see it there sort of flopping around to now nice and tight. So I guess we get to do that with that side too now. Okay. Love it when they leave us, they skip steps on me. Okay, so let's go there. this one's a little, I think, a little more doable, a little less involved. Okay, so just good coat everywhere there. I think we're actually going to be covering the whole thing up, so I'm not even going to worry about patching that gap there on this one. But, and also notice they did trim off the bottom edges there too. so this can go away now. If I break down and do decide to use the patch it up, there's my spot, a piece for it. Okay, so now I matching up with the picture at least, if not the instructions. Sorta, kinda. Okay, and then this guy supposed to run it down the middle like that, and sort of wrap the edges down. Okay, fun. Okay, that's bugging me. This thing is not cooperating with me. So I'm going to try the hot glue on this bit. Just mix and match, see how things go. It's just paper, so it should be good. Good. Alright. Go down into there. Okay, it's supposed to make like a rough texture, it looks like. So let's stick with the hot glue and we'll clean it up with the super glue, I think. It's going to get covered on both sides. Okay. I still got a little overhang over here, which is what to make sure you want to have. That appears to be good. I'll pop you out of the way. Yeah, I have to get it in here again. A little tight now, but still should be okay. Got that guy going like so. Now it should just be a few trims here, make it a little more compliant hold them down. Yeah, not much hassle. I'm sort of wanting to keep going with the hot glue. It's been working pretty good here. I don't know if that's being greedy or not. Yeah, I'm gonna try. Just section here for starters. Not bad yet. I didn't spread on that one as well. I have to touch that one back up with the super glue. Okay, go over here and see how this goes first then. Okay, a little bit. Maybe try it on this side of it. Make sure you get closer to the edge. You're reading all the way. I'm going to say be patient and use super glue on that. Learn from my mistakes. That's supposed to sort of come down at the end there. Okay. And I will button it up with super glue here. Yeah, I started on this thing too. I had delusions of grandeur. I thought I was gonna get like installing windows and doors and stuff too. Definitely not gonna be here that long tonight. Go back to the super glue for, like I said, the last little bit here. Around and hold it in place. Same thing over here, and like I said, this is it's going to be sitting like this, so that bottom section is not going to be showing much. Like I say, get it buttoned up here on the edge, I hope. Probably too thick to set up quick enough. Yeah, I think since I'm not going to get as far as I thought I would, I'm going to try and neaten this up a little bit. More under that little crevice, I hope. Glue my fingers to everything. One of these days I'm going to build some kind of base or something to hold that, so I can do that with one hand. A little more here. Okay. So that, I think, completes our mountainside, I believe is what this is supposed to be. Strings out there. Okay. And tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and try and get it mounted. Supposed those there. Okay, there is a I'm not even sure it's going to show up on camera, but there's a dotted line. You can sort of see it right there. And there are lines here. I guess that's... Oh. Yeah, okay. So... let's see, I'm trying to make sure... Okay, this is going to be that side, so this is the front. So that I'm still... didn't I already glue that down? Just don't want to stick. Okay. You're gonna stick. Like it or not. You're not even gonna show. I'm still bug me. Okay. So, and this is, yeah, that's not looking great either. That side actually is gonna show. Okay. Finally. I keep saying okay. I mean it this time. Double check this. Okay, so these two lights are on the outside, and these three are going to be coming through our mountainside here. Looks like there's enough slop in them where if we get close we'll be okay. Let me... the glue off my fingertips. No other reason that it just feels bad. Okay. So, lay them down. Do... okay, yeah, because that's going to make... yeah, this top's going to be fairly level. One second, that's not... I did that right. The line goes that way. Okay, yeah, that is fairly close to level. Okay, on the top part of the mountain's crooked. Okay, that's how it's supposed to be. Okay. They angle the pictures, I think. No, this side is supposed to be straight up and down. But this is not going to follow that line. That's supposed to be... I didn't do something upside down again, did I? No? Big piece there. Piece there. The only thing I'm thinking of is this is supposed to be square and that one's supposed to be angled. But that doesn't look like it in the picture. Actually, in the picture it looks like a perfect square. No, it definitely looks like the bottom is angled. Okay, so that. So we're supposed to be doing something like that. Which, if I can get it to stick like that, that's actually a pretty cool texture along there. But I think we're going to be covering up most of that with our decorations here. Okay. So, that's a quandary. Okay. So, I'm gonna anchor. No, I'm not, because I gotta get the lights that gotta come through. Actually, I'm not sure that light's long enough to reach. These two are okay. Does that one go? This one's too short. It's not gonna. If it pokes through, it'll just barely poke through. Okay, let's see here. Okay, first thing, try and get these lights poked in. Okay, let's get them close and we'll be all right. Straight. Okay, so something around there. Let's see, pop these through and see if I can use you to take the rest of them. There. This one's, yeah, it's not even getting close to reaching. It's not even. That. Okay, so what I'm gonna do. Okay, it's hitting a little bit. Let's see if I can get you to come through here. Okay, it's gonna be barely showing. It's gonna add a little luminance there. That's gonna be tomorrow's problem, because right now what I'm gonna do is try and anchor down this corner. Hot glue, liberal coating, liberal dose. Line you up. Big squirt down in there. Not a fun way to do this, but I think it'll hold. I can get all four corners. It's one of those things where the vague instructions strike again. Something that's been common occurrence on these sets I've noticed over the years. And get down here to in place. Get a little pressure on all four sides. Still hot. Lives up, like I said earlier, lives up to the name. Okay, we're going to be covering that one up too. So. Okay, and I guess just to make a little progress now, I'm going to hit this guy. Supposed to go on there. Yeah, yep. Sort of like that. So I'm just going to go B7000 on the back of it. Maybe that'll also, if it sets it in place, that'll help lock our mountainside in place. Okay, so get you underneath that guy. In there. Okay. That's pretty close down there on the bottom. I think I'm a little bit off, but hopefully it'll be within reason. And we're still dealing with the wobbly background too. I think that's moving. I think that's what's confusing me as far as it looks like it's moving, but it's not moving as much as I think it is. All right, there we go. I'm gonna call it quits there. A little more challenging bit than I was expecting it to be, but I shouldn't have been surprised. Thanks for watching, everybody. Like, subscribe, comment, complain, share. Do whatever you want to with all that. Be good to one another. Stay safe. And click on a link. There's my channel up there if you'd like to subscribe. There's my other channel over there I do little experiments on a couple of times a month. That's what YouTube thinks you should be watching. And this here's the playlist for this whole build. See you tomorrow.